If some guru out there ever tells you that selling on Amazon FBA is all rainbows and butterflies, then I need you to listen to me closely when I tell you this. Fucking run. Because I guarantee you that this person has either never sold on Amazon for a long period of time or has never run a successful business. My brother and I, we lost over $8,000 in our first month with Amazon FBA. It was a complete nightmare. And not to mention, it happened right when we started. You couldn't imagine what our confidence levels was after the fact. Now, I gotta admit, this one's a little embarrassing, but I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened, why it happened, and how you can avoid making these mistakes so that you don't have to do it as well. But before I get into it, make sure you slap that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications to get more battle story videos like this in the future. Okay, now let me preface this Amazon FBA horror story with the fact that this happened to us during a time where we had just decided to take action and go after our dreams. It's also important to note that there's a difference between a basic course that just gives you outdated information with no support and an actual coaching program that is designed to help students through every step of their journey. Now, when we started, we were just young, ambitious kids who took massive action and made mistakes along the way like any savvy entrepreneur would. But I know that if we had qualified a mentor holding our hands during this process, we would likely have saved ourselves a few angry forehead veins from having to deal with what I'm about to share with you. All worked out now and it's much better, obviously, but $8,000 is nothing in comparison to what we're doing today between all of our stores. If you have the ability to avoid costly mistakes from someone who had already made them, then I highly suggest that you do take action on that. That is how valuable having a mentor actually is. It's one of the true shortcuts to fast tracking your success. All right, so here's exactly what happened. In our first month of starting our Amazon FBA business, we decided that, hey, we didn't really need a mentor just yet. We were drivers, we were like self-sufficient, and we just wanted to go in guns a-blazing. We figured out that free information on YouTube and the internet were all that we needed to get this thing up and running. But here's the thing. Anytime you start something new for the first time, and really even if you've been in the game for a long time, there will always be something I like to call lethal blind spots. A lethal blind spot is exactly how it sounds. It's something that you fail to notice because your attention isn't focused on a particular area, or you are literally oblivious that it's even there. And it's lethal because usually you don't see this blind spot in time. It could potentially be damaging or completely destructive to you and your business. In our case, it was something as simple as labels. Fucking labels, guys. Looking back at it now, we've built an incredibly successful Amazon FBA business. It's actually pretty funny, but I guarantee you when we were living it, this shit was not funny to us at all, especially because we were doing this for the first time. It was the first investment that we ever had done into business or really into anything as a whole. I'm even a little embarrassed to admit it because it was such a small mistake that could have been easily avoided if we just had known what to do beforehand. Anyway, so essentially what we did is we mislabeled everything in terms of the barcodes on our products from the order that we had shipped from China. When we finally realized that we did this, we had to stop that shipment mid-route, divert it to a warehouse that we had to find last minute. And because of that diversion, we had to pay fees to stop that shipment. We had to pay receiving fees to dock the shipment. We had to actually go ahead and get everything relabeled in there. And because we did it at a warehouse in the United States, it was a very big expense to us. It being our first time in business investing that money, it just shocked us and scared us. Now, here's exactly what this mistake cost us. It cost us an entire month of lag time, which meant that we literally could have launched 1 month sooner. And it cost us over $5,000 to make all of these changes. That's not including that month of selling. Now, in our first month of selling, we did $10,000 in sales, which means we could have made that money sooner rather than later. On top of that, we hired a freight forwarder that was based out of the US to ship our inventory and didn't shop for any other service providers like other people would. We based this entire decision on hearing this tip from one video that was completely out of context for our situation. The video basically told us to go with this person without any true understanding of our unique situation, and we blindly listened without any question. We literally could have saved $3,000 by using another freight forwarder that provided the same service at a fraction of the cost from the first option that's based based out of China. That's about $5,000 to make the changes to the shipment, as well as $3,000 for making the wrong decision with the freight forwarder. That's over $8,000 in lost money that we could have easily avoided if only we had the right person and people to follow guiding us through each step of the process. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is why it is so important to have a mentor to guide you along the way in anything that you want to be successful with. You saw how one little tiny mistake, this tiny little lapse in judgment, cost us a ton of money, a ton of time, and energy in our first month while selling on Amazon FBA. It's still insane to me thinking about how I could have easily dodged this bullet with the right guidance from someone who had already been there and done that. We lost an entire month from one stupid little mistake. So we asked ourselves, how many little stupid mistakes are we not seeing right now that we could be delaying us from winning for months or even years or even ever? If you are starting in any business, I implore you to ask yourself this question as well. It may actually be the one thing that's keeping you from being and seeing any success. Needless to say, we learn from our mistakes. If we had sought good mentorship from someone who was already way ahead of us in the game, I say it all the time and I say it again, finding a good mentor to guide you through each step of the process is an absolute game changer. It will save you time, it'll save you money, and there is no such thing as a magic pill to swallow that will guarantee you overnight success. Having a qualified mentor would be the closest damn thing to it. So as I wrap up this story of ours, I wanna know, do you have a mentor that is guiding you along the way to help you achieve your goals? And if not, why not? And are you going to consider finding one now that you've heard our horror story of making these costly mistakes when we first got started? From one human being to another, I truly hope that you do. Believe me when I say this, it's well worth it. All the time you could have saved, the money you could have made, the pain you could have avoided, it is 100% fucking worth it to invest in a mentor. The ROI will easily pay for itself. Even with these mistakes we made in the beginning, Amazon FBA still easily is the best side hustle for anyone to start and can start in 2023. Now, if you'd like to learn more about how to get started, I made a video about this that you can find right in the description down below or at the screen right here. I truly appreciate you stopping by to hear my story. I want you to know that I am rooting for you and I want you to win, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.